Big fields have big loads, and those big loads need carrying by big trailers. One of the best big trailers and best value for money out there is the Aperion 3401. It is priced at a rather hefty £90,500, but compared to its other trailers of this size, you really are getting a cracking deal. If you buy the Krone version, all you get is a cover and it costs you nearly 20 grand more, and for a trailer that costs roughly around the same, you're really only getting forage, chaff, silage, etc. You don't really get a trailer that can carry pretty much anything for this cost. You also get some interesting customization options as well in the form of your unloading mechanics. You can have design 1 or design 2. Design 2 is basically a moving floor and is really helpful. Also in this rather cracking deal, you do get 3 axles on the rear, 2 of which are steerable. This can be a bit awkward when you're using a tight turning machine because your rear will end up crashing onto the side of the tractor, but if you are smart with it and don't drive like a lunatic, then it will be more than adequate and you get a decent amount of maneuverability with that as well. Honestly, if you see this in the discount store, or even if you're starting a brand new farm, you can't really go wrong with the Aperion 3401. We all know how much I love a multi-tool, and this Brantner trailer, the DD24073/2XXL, is no different. This trailer has multiple different modes and configurations you can use, but the two that you're going to use the most are the standard and the bale trailer, or the flatbed. This flatbed is not just for bales, you can use it for pretty much anything, and if you've watched my Twitch streams, you will see that I have to use the flatbed more often than I'd like. It's great for transporting things from the shop, oddities that you can't really put into a trailer like the Aperion, and it's just a decent size. The one bad thing about this trailer is that it does use a dolly connector hitch, and I despise dollies. However, the versatility and the usefulness of having this flatbed trailer, especially for just £39,650, more than makes up for it. You also get to change the colour of the front, which is honestly really useful if you have multiple. You can sort of organise them to what it's going to be carrying. You can change it to have one colour for honey, one colour for wool, for example, another colour for just general goods. It's a good way of sorting it out if you do end up having more than one flatbed. Honestly, this is a cracking buy, and a lot of people don't even know that you can turn it into a flatbed. If you're on a smaller farm, such as Court Farms, Bally Spring, etc., you're not going to need a massive trailer. The fields aren't that big, they don't require it. However, some of the other small trailers have issues, like the fact they're a dolly trailer or use a dolly connection, and they are a nightmare to maneuver. However, the Claas Carat 1402D seems to be the perfect solution to this. Cheap, cheerful, with a decent capacity and plenty of configuration methods. It also comes with a bog standard normal trailer hitch, which means that it's much more maneuverable, isn't going to get annoyingly tangled in everything you do, and is small enough that you can get into those really tight spaces, and you're not going to be hauling around a massive tractor that you're never going to fill. It's also really cheap at £17,500. This Claas trailer is honestly fantastic and well worth the money. The Krone GX 520 is another example of paying above the odds and not really getting a lot in return. Whilst this trailer does have a 52,000 litre capacity, very similar to the Aperion, you don't really get much else on top of it than a cover, and the cover adds even more cost to the trailer. At a whopping £124,000 with the cover on, you are paying nearly £30,000 more for a trailer that does exactly the same thing with the same capacity. It's just you're paying for the name. Honestly, I have never really understood why you would pay this much money for a trailer outside of aesthetics, but hey, if you want a uniformed Krone fleet, this is going to be one that you can't really pass up, because nothing says Krone like Krone. Personally would not choose this. I avoid it wherever possible unless it's in the discount store, but it is worth pointing out that it is a very good looking trailer, and outside of the cost it's actually pretty good for capacity, etc. I just think that the price tag does not warrant what you actually get. The Krampe Halfpipe HP20 is a weird one, because it looks incredible and yet it's honestly pretty bad. The big downside to this trailer is the price. At £36,000 you are getting less than the base configuration of the Claas Carat for more than double the price. 12,100 litres is all it carries, but its price tag doesn't really justify that. However, if you were to see this in the discount store, I would say it's probably worth the extra £2,000 just for how good it looks. But honestly, I would avoid it other than that, unless you are somebody that favours aesthetics over actual functionality. This Krampe trailer is just a bit of a disappointment, no matter how good it looks. The Krampe Quality on Wheels SKS 30/1050 is one of the best hidden bargains in the game. This trailer is pretty damn colossal with not that much of a hefty price. It's £95,000, so it's just under £5,000 more expensive than the Aperion. However, it does require either a dolly, a connector, or a truck to pull it. That being said, at 59.4 thousand litres capacity, it's kind of worth the money. And if you do fasten a truck to it, you will be going a lot faster than with most tractors that you can connect to it as well. The one thing that I wish that you could do is maybe repaint it or change the colour in some way, but honestly, for this much capacity, you can kind of get away with it and you don't really mind. You can also change the rim colour if you so desire, but you don't really need to, and it doesn't actually add to the cost either. This honestly is a hidden gem, and if you get the chance to nab this for those larger fields, I would not pass up the chance.